Hey everybody, Henry Fernandez here. Listen, it's a brand new day, and I hope that you're enjoying the day so far. So let's have our discussion today, and it's really about you and your destiny. Where God wants you to be, not only in the now, but in the future. And let's talk about how you are the one who's responsible for making sure you get to your destination. So many times I think we give people the power and we actually put the responsibility of our destiny in the hands of people. So, for example, we will say, well, I am not where I should be because I had these setbacks, because, I never had a father, or I didn't have a good relationship with my parents, or I had a rough upbringing, or maybe I, wasn't born into wealth. I was never given the opportunity to go to school to get a good education. We come up with all of these things, and while those things are important because they are your story, you've been through those things. I think it's important for us to note that there are so many victories and testimonies, if you will, of other people, not only in the Bible, but modern day prophets, prophetess, individuals who have overcome the struggles of life, who have overcome the setbacks of life. And you too, my friends, have the ability to overcome the struggles of life. Yes, you can win. Yes, you can be successful. How do I know that? Because God is no respecter of persons. And I think the moment you begin to put that in your mind, so you have to understand that what God does, He places in us abilities. And then He gives us an assignment when He places us on the earth. And no matter what life throws at you, it is your responsibility to ensure that you carve out your own destiny, that you get there, that you get to the place of greatness, that you get to the place of success. It's time you stop putting your destiny, your future in the hands of people. I don't care if they're your relatives. I don't care if that's the person you're dating, you're married to. I don't care if it's the people on the job. I don't even care if it's people in ministry. I don't care who they are. Your job is to make sure that you become your best self. That's your responsibility. You were never given the ability, or you were never wired by God to be a cheap copy of somebody else. Your responsibility is to be an original, to be who you are. And once you do that, I firmly believe that God will assist you because you have the empowerment to do so, right? You're wired to do that. So God will assist you in finishing your assignment. So here's a couple of questions I really want to provoke you to think about. Number one, do you really believe in yourself? Think about that. Do you actually believe in yourself? Do you believe in your abilities? Do you believe that there's more to you than what you see right now? That though you might have achieved greatness, some of you, I tell you what, you ought to be applauded. You've done a lot, man. You have achieved a lot. Some of you have reached certain levels in life all by yourself. No one assisted you. No one helped you. You had to come through a whole lot of drama to get to where you are. But do you understand how great you are? Do you understand that your past, your present cannot define who you are? I don't know if you really understand that. And it is my hope that you will get to the place where you will really come into that knowledge that you are a great person, that there is so much more to you than what you see and what the world is watching you do. Once you get that in your head, then the desire and the passion would come into you to want to be better. So many people right now, they're living their lives gossiping about people, trying to outdo people, trying to impress people, trying to be what other people are doing, trying to prove a point, or it's, I'm telling you, it is insane. One of the best advice I can give you today is just stop the madness of trying to measure up to people and their standards or their expectations of who you are, or living your life trying to prove to anybody that you are who you are and that you can win and that you can be great without them. That's the biggest mistake you'll make, man. When you're trying to do something just to prove a point to people. Because there's some people, they're so toxic, you're not going to win when it comes to playing life the way they do. You're not wired that way. Some people will outcurse you. Some people will outlie you. Some people will outsmart you because that's not who you are. Your personality is so different. You're genuine. It's what what people see is, it's really who you are. Um, you can't be like them. So I think you just need to stop for a moment. Stop trying to be who you're not. Be who you are. Be the authentic person. Never try to change your personality to fit in or for people to like you. And I'm telling you from personal experience, I used to do that one time, because you're trying to please people. You're trying to, and it's not a bad thing. You're trying to show people you care, show people that you're willing to play. When I say play, you're willing to make the environment comfortable, friends, and so forth, family or whatever. You're trying to make them be proud of you. You're trying to even, here's the big one, you're trying to get them to not only approve of you, but to appreciate, celebrate, and value you. Appreciate, celebrate, and value you. Let me add another one, and respect you. Unfortunately, there are some people, I don't care what you do, you're going to stress yourself out trying to please them, trying to get them to say to you, well done. It's time you just start living just for God, man, for God alone to say to you, well done, good and faithful servant. Because some people are not going to give it to you. In fact, they're in competition with you. And you'll be shocked to see where all of this attack comes from. It doesn't come from just strange places, It doesn't. So attacks will come from all different places in life, from different sources that you would be just totally blown away by. Why is that person jealous over me? Why is that person attacking me that way? Don't they see that, I am cheering for them, I'm rooting for them, I'm supporting them? I mean, some people, again, going back to what I said, some people are just toxic. And I just want to help many of you today that you're going to have to make a decision. And this is tough now. You're going to have to make a decision to own your own success. And you cannot be worried about what people think. You can no longer be boxed in by people and their opinions. In fact, I tell people this all the time. Success is a lonely road. Let me say it again, because I want it to register in your spirit. Some of you, you know you're going to be successful. You know you're great. You know you have great ideas and abilities and skills, talents, you name it. You know it. But you're trying to do it with a crowd of people. You're trying for people to like you. You're trying for people to come and support what you're doing. And, let's just be one big happy family and let's just do it together. Let's just be great. I'm happy for you and I know you're happy for me. It doesn't work that way, honey. I think what you need to do is to recognize that success is a lonely road. If you're going to be successful, you're going to have to make the decision that you may have to do this alone. You may have to move in silence. Some of you just talk too much. Some of you, you post too much. You try to tell your business every move you're making. You're trying to impress people. I have a philosophy. I let people think what they want to think, but I operate and I move in silence, and then boom. Later, somehow they'll find it. Oh, he's doing that. Oh, wow. You know, kind of just shock them, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of them, not all, but there's a lot of them. They don't check for you to be successful. So why should you give them that privilege of saying, okay, here's my business. Here's the steps that I'm taking to get to greatness, to get to where I want to be. Why would I want to do that? I don't think they're worth that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to give them that time of day, that attention. Some of you giving your adversary, giving the critics and the people who don't believe in you, the dream killers, you're giving them too much access to you. Why are you allowing them to come into your space? Why do you even allow them to talk to you? I mean, you're not keeping malice with people. Some people you just need to say hello from a distance, and so forth. I mean, some of you right now need to scrub your phone and need to just go through your list, and there are numbers in there that, yes, one time it was okay, but now it's like you're at a different place. Yeah, I don't really need it. Why? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? I was, having my phone several times this has happened, but recently I was taking pictures, and in fact with some videos. I was sitting in the sanctuary, and I was just taking some videos of what was going on, and all of a sudden it came up on my screen, your memory is full. And I said, okay. And then it gave me the option to clear some of the information that has taken up space. So what I had to do, right, because I can buy more space, right? I can spend money to buy more space, to go on cloud. And I know what you technical people are saying, Bishop, you can just go get a cloud and so forth. And I got to pay for that. Watch this now. Please don't miss this. Cloud is not free. I got to pay a monthly fee, at least on my end, to get to cloud. But then I thought of it. I said, why am I going to pay for additional space that I need, right? Why am I going to pay for it when I could just clear some files I no longer need? Where I could just take care of some photos I no longer need, take care of some downloads. I can delete those things and no longer have to worry about paying for additional space. Some of you are harboring things you no longer need, and therefore, because you're not willing to remove it out of your life, it is costing you. You're paying an expensive price for things you no longer need. So you got to really take inventory of your life, man. You got to begin to think and say to yourself, okay, who do I need to remove? And it sounds like evil, right? It doesn't sound Christ-like, right? Why would I want to, remove people? You better. There's some people, they don't need to be in your space. They don't even need to be in your memory. There's some environments you no longer need to be a part of. There's some conversations you don't need to be a part of anymore. You just need to focus on you. Listen to me, sir, ma'am. You are running out of time. What do I mean by that? The older you get, is the more this becomes a reality to you. I don't care, even if you're in your 30s, right? You're in your 30s. You're going to be 40 soon. And then if you're in your 40s, you're going to be 50 soon. If you're in your 50s, you're going to be 60s. In your 60s soon. Same thing, you're going to be in your 70s soon, your 80s, your 90s. And I'm telling you, as you're living life, the days and the years are going by so quick. It is, quickly passing by. So then you have to begin to ask yourself the question. You now have to choose what you will allow in your space each season of your life. And at this stage of your life, because you're running out of time, in other words, you're not getting younger, you're getting older, you have to make some tough decisions where you no longer can play games. You no longer want to um, uh, be around a system or a support system that no longer supports your drive, your zeal, your desires. I mean, that's a tough decision, but you have to do it. You have to make the decision that you are going to pursue greatness, that you're going to do it, and you may have to do it alone. Of course, with God, you just need God. If God be for you, who can fight against you? Who can stop your progress? So you have to make that decision. And I don't know why God designed this podcast just for you, because you've been blaming a lot of people, and some of you don't verbalize it, but deep in your spirit, there's resentment towards people because they've done you wrong. You should have been further in life, and there's a whole lot of setbacks, and maybe you have justification to feel the way you're feeling. However, where's that going to get you? At some point in time, you're going to have to make the decision, I should say, to say, you know what? If I'm going to win, it's up to me. If I'm going to succeed, it's up to me. If I'm going to be great, it's up to me. And I have to make that decision to do it. As long as I have got God on my side, people may not believe in me. And sometimes, you know what? On the road to success, it's going to look like you're not making progress at all. Take it from me. Sometimes it looks like, okay, what are you getting out of this? But if you keep grinding, if you keep working, if you keep pushing, if you keep believing in yourself, if you keep speaking positive words, if you keep filtering out the bad and surrounding yourself around the Word of God and positive people and environments, I promise you it will last. Some of you, because you're not getting instant gratification, you don't see instant success, and it's hard work, then you more resort to doing what is wrong, which will never get you to be successful. You see, success is not it's not an image, sweetheart. It is not an image. So many people, if success was an image, everybody is successful, man. Because there's so many people today, right now, they have an image of success, but if the truth be told, they are not successful. Some people are just acting the part. They're acting the part. And you may say, well, I got to act it until I make it. No. If you're faith in it, not fake, if you're faith in it until you get there, I get it. But just to act, to impress, to just prove a point to people that you are, no, cut that mess out, man. Because you're running out of time. There's so much more for you. And I don't know who am I talking to. Listen, I don't care what drama is in your life. I'm not trying to belittle your problems. I'm not trying to tell you I'm insensitive to where you are in life, but I am telling you, you are greater. You are better. You're more powerful. Get over whatever. And I know it sounds insensitive, Henry. What do you mean get over? You have a choice, sweetheart. Sir, you have a choice. You can sit there, waddle, argue, fuss, and not move on. You can stay at Bethesda for however many years you want to stay there. You can be in the moment of greatness. It only takes one move. One move. All you have to do, according to the book of John chapter 5, all you have to do is discern when it's your moment, when it's your time, when God says, go in, step in. It's a season where you ought to take the risk. Right? You can do that, or you can just sit there and complain about everything in life, and let's see how far you're going to go. Life is going to find you in your senior years just sitting there complaining about the same doggone thing that you've been complaining about 50 years. So I am telling you today, you have to make some tough decisions on what you want to do. I want to leave you with this. I want to give you, this is very important, and you may have to take the notes of these four actions that you must take, in this stage of your life. Four actions you must take in this stage of your life. Number one, take God's advice over everyone else. Take God's advice over everybody else. And here's the reason why you need to do that. Because for so many years, you and I, we've been taking other people's advice. And I believe in that. I believe that God put people in our lives, in our path, to help us to be great, to be better at what we are, and so forth. But be smart now. Because, some people, you don't need to take advice from them. Don't do it. Go to God. And when you go to God, you take his advice. What he will do, he'll send people in your life to confirm what he already told you. But be very careful when you just rely on people to speak to you on the behalf of God. Now, let me qualify that now, because I don't want you to run away and say Henry is saying you should never look to a spiritual leader, whether it's a pastor, a friend, an intercessor. I'm not saying that. However, what I'm saying, like I always tell the people who go to the Faith Center, know God for yourself, because preachers, we get it wrong too, right? Know God for yourself. So whenever I hit the stage and I say something, I'm human. I might have meant to say something, but said it the wrong way or incorrect or out of ignorance, may say something. But when you know the word of God, you can then confirm or say, no, I don't receive that because that's not the word. Same thing when you know God for yourself and you take his advice, when somebody else come to you or you go to them and say, what do you think about this? God already told you what you needed to know. But just in the mouth of two or three witnesses, you want to confirm it. God's not the author of confusion, so he's not going to tell you one thing and speak to the other person to tell you something else, because that will confuse you. So take God's advice over everyone else. Number two, set goals and stick to the plan that will achieve them. Set goals and stick to the plan that will achieve them. You're never going to be great and successful in life if you don't set goals. Hello. You got to set goals, man. You have to set goals. Write the vision, make it plain. So many people fail because they just get up every day and they go through the routine, doing all kinds of stuff, but there's no plan. They don't know what they're going to do the next year. They don't know what they're going to do 5 years from now. You have to set goals and stick to them. Believe me, I am where I am today because I set some goals. And believe me, people are laughing at me. I remember years ago, I've been in ministry 31 years. And 31 years ago, I wrote some things down. I kept confessing it from the stage. I put it on the wall. And people probably were laughing at me. I know they were. But you know what? I kept working at it. I said, God, I'm going to stick to this plan. And 31 years later, I'm looking at the manifestation of everything that God told me that he was going to do, and he has done it. And now, who's laughing now? Who's embarrassed now? And the people who are laughing at me, where are they today? Where are they? So you cannot just sit there and rely on people and just trust everybody else's advice and don't set goals and just live one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Number three, disconnect from people who don't believe in you, who won't support you, who won't value you, nor respect you. Disconnect. One of the toughest things in life is for us to just go ghost on some people. Sometimes I'm telling you, it's hard. I get it. Sometimes your feelings and your emotions and strings are attached, and sometimes you just got to cut the umbilical cord, because you cannot have certain attachments to you for the rest of your life. It is going to hurt you. So disconnect from people who don't believe that you're successful. You can be successful, that you are worth it, that they don't value you. They treat you like a piece of trash, like dirt. You don't exist, especially when you know you're a good person. Don't do that. Don't let nobody impose nothing on you. When people disrespect you, don't value you, when people don't support you, and when people don't respect you. Don't give me that nonsense. Right? Don't give me that nonsense like, well, you just got to be. No, get rid of that. Disconnect. And finally, be your biggest cheerleader. I know I like when people say, Henry, great job, great word, great sermon, great podcast, great play, whatever. I'm okay. But you know what? I learn to congratulate myself. I learn, and some people may say it's being arrogant, No, I just like, okay, I did good. That was great. That was a great word, and so forth. So learn to be your biggest cheerleader. So I hope this whole podcast makes sense to you. And again, the goal of today's podcast is just to encourage you, man, to own your own destiny, own your own success. It's a long road. It's not easy, but it's possible. You can do it. I believe in you, but most importantly, God wired you to be successful. I'll see you next time.